Disadvantages in the allograft and xenograft. Disadvantages of allograft and xenograft. Advantage is that sufficient quantity can be is disadvantage in the
Provoke immune response.
immune response, rejection chance. Also, there may be chance of cross infection. Donor, suppose if there is any infection, HIV infection or viral infection, that may get transmitted through the allograft. Now allografts. So what are allografts?
Different individual or same species.
So grafts which are obtained from a different individual of the same species, they are known as allograft. So they are generally obtained from tissue banks. They are obtained within the cortical bone 12 hours of the death of the donor. Okay, so live donor alike. So we are obtaining the allograft from cadavers. So this cortical bone is defatted, cut in pieces, washed in absolute alcohol and deep frozen. The material may then be demineralized, subsequently ground and sieved to a particle size of 250 to 750 micrometer and freeze dried. Finally, it is vacuum sealed in glass vials. So advantage in the doesn't inflict surgical trauma to other part of the body. Disadvantages, it can provoke immune response. So this antigenic immune response can be suppressed by radiation, freezing and chemicals. Also there is chance of cross infection. Now to eliminate viral infectivity, various steps can be done. This include exclusion of the donors from known high-risk groups and various tests on the cadaver tissues to exclude individuals with any type of infection or malignant disease. So donor selection important. We have to eliminate the high-risk groups. Also, tests can be done to eliminate various infections. The material is then treated with chemical agents or strong acids to inactivate the virus if still present. The chance of HIV infection is calculated to about 1 to 8 million. 1 in 1 to 8 million. And this is characterized as highly remote. Now, two types of allografts are available. One is undecalcified freeze-dried bone, other calcified freeze-dried bone. Now, freeze-dried bone allograft is considered osteoconductive. Osteoconductive no chanda.
Scaffold it act the bone formation promoting.
It only act as a scaffold. So only the surrounding cells and tissues later invade this scaffold and they produce the new bone. Now this can be decalcified. Now decalcification process exposes components of the bone matrix, which are known as bone morphogenic proteins. So one of the BMPs or bone morphogenic proteins, BMP3 or osteogenin, which has shown to enhance osseous regeneration in human periodontal defects. So DFB, decalcify cheyadayina DFDBA is ఏది type material?
Osteoinductive.
Inductiva, osteoinductiva. Is it because of presence of BMP, bone morphogenetic proteins? These chemicals, proteins can stimulate the surrounding cells, progenitor cells to differentiate into osteoblast. Okay, so this type of DFDBA is osteoinductive. Now xenografts. So various types of xenografts have been used in the past, like calf bone, commercially available as bow plant, which is treated by detergent extraction, sterilized and freeze-dried. Also used is keel bone, calf or ox bone, which is denatured with 20% hydrogen peroxide, dried with acetone and sterilized with ethylene oxide. Another product which has been used is anorganic bone, which is basically ox bone, from which the organic material has been extracted by means of ethylene diamine. It is then sterilized by autoclaving. Now, currently available product which is nowadays used is BioOS. So basically it is anorganic bovine derived bone, which has been successfully used both for periodontal defects and in implant surgery. It is an osteoconductive porous bone mineral matrix, which is derived from bovine cancellous or cortical bone. Now the organic component of the bone are removed, but the trabecular architecture and porosity are retained. The physical features permit clot stabilization and revascularization to allow migration of osteoblast. BioOS is biocompatible with the adjacent tissues and it elicits no systemic immune response. Clear or not?
Yes, sir.
This is a type of either type of material.
Osteoconductive.
Osteoconductive. Okay. So it is anorganic bone. Or anorganic bone meaning and the
Organic components are removed.
organic components have been removed. Okay, but decalcified means in the mineral component is removed. Or when organic component is removed, it is known as anorganic.
Anorganic.
Okay. So xenografts, the most important is BioOS.
BioOS.
So it is currently commonly used. Previously, calf bone, keel bone, anorganic bone ഒക്കെ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. അതിപ്പോ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. Only BioOS is available. Clear ആണോ?
Yes, sir.
Now non-bone graft materials, which is also known as synthetic materials or
Alloplast.
alloplast. Okay. So various material has been tried in the past, like sclera, cartilage, plaster of Paris, or plastic materials like HTR polymers. Nowadays, calcium phosphate biomaterials are used. It's also known as bioceramics. Now, bioceramics have excellent biocompatibility. It is osteoconductive. Two types are available. One is hydroxyapatite with calcium phosphate ratio of 1 to 1.67. it is non-bioresorbable. Second is tricalcium phosphate with calcium to phosphate ratio of 1.5, which is partially bioresorbable. Commercially available products are Perigraph and Calcitite. Another alloplast is bioactive glasses. Basically, it consists of sodium and calcium salts, phosphates, and silicon dioxide. Now, when the bioactive glass come in contact with the tissue fluids, they get coated with hydroxy carbonate apatite, which then incorporates organic ground proteins and attracts osteoblast. So that's why it is known as bioactive. So surface layer is active. So when it come in contact with the tissue fluids, the organic ground substance, proteins, and are incorporated, and which attracts the osteoblast. The two commercial products are Perioglass, which is having a particle size of about 90 to 170 micrometer, and Biogram, which has a particle size of 300 to 355 micrometer. Then coral derived materials. Coral ariyalandam. Where
Yes, sir.
okay, corals are present in the
See.
so they are biocompatible. They may be natural or synthetic. Natural means natural coral. Synthetic means coral derived porous hydroxyapatite. Both type of material are demonstrated microscopic cementum and bone formation. But disadvantage in that it has very low resolvability. So this may hinder the clinical success in practice. So graft associated new attachment techniques clear आयो?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next is biological mediators associated new attachment technique. So in that comes polypeptide growth factors and enamel matrix derivatives. So third type is biological mediators associated new attachment procedures, which includes polypeptide growth factors and enamel matrix derivatives. Now polypeptide growth factors, they are the polypeptide molecules which are released by cells in inflamed areas that regulate events in the wound healing. They regulate connective tissue, cell migration, and proliferation and synthesis of proteins and other components of the extracellular matrix. They include platelet-derived growth factors, insulin growth factors, insulin-like growth factors, B, fibroblast growth factors, transforming growth factors alpha and beta. First, we will take recombinant human platelet-derived growth factors. Recombinant the meaning in the recombinant means they are synthetically produced.
Genetic.
Synthetically, normally PDGF present in the body tissues. So blood concentrate platelets they are present abundantly in the blood platelets. Recombinant that those are produced synthetically. Now PDGF is one of the earliest growth factors studied for its effect on wound healing, because it is a potent mitogenic and chemotactic factor for mesenchymal cells. Now, histological evidence has shown successful periodontal regeneration in combination with bone grafts. Now, combination of recombinant platelet-derived growth factor with beta TCP carrier is now commercially available, which is known as GEM21S. TCP is tricalcium phosphate. Either type material with tricalcium phosphate. Tricalcium phosphate or which type of materials?
Alloplast.
Alloplast, synthetic material. So combination recombinant human platelet derived growth factor beta tricalcium phosphate is now commercially available. It's known as GEM21S. So preliminary studies have shown that this material is easy to use, require no barrier membranes, and has result comparable or superior to those of other regenerative graft materials. Then bone morphogenic proteins. Bone morphogenic proteins is a group of regulatory glycoproteins that are members of transforming growth factor beta superfamily that function as differentiation factors. These proteins induce cellular differentiation of stem cells into chondroblastic and osteogenic cells. BMPs has been demonstrated to be present in FDBA and DFDBA, but the levels are so low that BMP is not biologically active. Only through recombinant DNA technology, BMP has been made available for clinical use. So naturally it is present in FDBA and DFDBA. One major concern, disadvantage of using BMP is the concern of that the healing may take place by ankylosis. So BMP, the main action is on osteoblast. So they may this produces the bone, induces the bone formation. So one disadvantage that is there may be ankylosis. Another growth factor that is on which the research is going on is recombinant human fibroblast growth factor 2. Now, preliminary animal studies, beagle and non-human primate studies, and one human study has demonstrated that topical application of fibroblast growth factor 2 into intraosseous defects in alveolar bone induces significant periodontal tissue regeneration. Okay, so growth factors. Clear now? What growth factors are you currently using for periodontal regeneration? Growth factors used in periodontal regeneration.
recombinant PD.
Human fibroblast.
PDGF, recombinant human platelet derived growth factor.
Platelet derived growth factor.
In bone morphogenic proteins.
BMP, sir.
In a recombinant human fibroblast growth factor 2. Studies, animal studies and human studies. Some products are commercially available also. Other growth factors, like insulin like growth factors, other factors are also there. So all these growth factors help in wound healing. Okay, so that may proper regulation of the growth factor can lead to periodontal regeneration. Second is enamel matrix derivative. Now enamel matrix derivatives are secreted by Hershey's epithelial root sheet, which are very important for cementum formation. Enamel matrix derivative have been effective in the treatment of infra-bony defects. One commercially available product is Emdogain. So tooth formation development, cementum formation, most important structure is the cementum formation, root formation is the
Hershey's epithelial root sheet.
Hershey's epithelial root sheet. So animals and if you obtain Hershey's epithelial root sheet, we obtain the enamel matrix derivative. Several studies have compared the use of EMD alone or in conjunction with other regenerative approaches. When EMD treatment was compared with GTR using bioresorbable membranes, the clinical results were comparable and stable over as much as 10-year period. The use of EMD in combination with other graft material is controversial. So GTR with bioresorbable GTR kuda use cheyidittundu EMDs. Then fourth technique is moon technique discuss cheyadu. Fourth is combination of techniques. So edakke techniques non-graft associated new generation techniques, graft associated new generation techniques, biological mediators associated new generation techniques. This moonanda combination use here. Example and them we can use. Previously we have used graft material, bone graft material along with root conditioning with citric acid and coverage with non-resorbable membrane. So it's a combination. Either technique combination. Use of bone graft with root conditioning and non-resorbable GTR membrane. So it's a combination of graft association new attachment technique and non-graft association attachment.
Non-graft.
More recently, with the advent of osteopromotive agents such as enamel matrix derivative and osteoconductive bovine derived anorganic bone like BioOs, the combination of two has been also used. So enamel matrix derivative, osteoconductive material like BioOs. BioOs is the type material.
Anorganic bovine derived.
Anorganic bovine derived material. No graft. EMD is the type material. Biological mediators.
Enamel matrix derivative.
Yeah, biological mediator associated new attachment techniques. So run the technique enamel matrix derivative, biological mediator associated. Also use xenograft. Graft associated. For combination use periodontal regeneration. Now future directions. So and one important concept in periodontal regeneration is research. So that is tissue engineering with biological mediators. Now in tissue engineering, the wound healing process is manipulated so that the tissue regeneration occurs. There are three main components of the elements of the tissue regeneration. Three components are signaling molecules, second is scaffold or supporting matrix, and cells. So periodontal regeneration, if you want periodontal regeneration, which all things are needed? So we need
Signaling.
matrix venom, in a cells, particular cells, progenitor cells, osteoblast, cementoblast, all these cells are needed. Third is the signaling molecule. Periodontal regeneration. So three components: tissue engineering involves use of three key elements. So three elements say the kya? So signaling molecules. Signaling molecules can be, examples are
Platelet-derived growth factor,
bone morphogenic
platelet-derived growth factors.
fibroblast growth factor.
Yeah. In a scaffolds venom, scaffolds like bone graft material, osteoconductive materials scaffold examples or collagen membrane also can be used as scaffolds. Calcium phosphate, collagen, they can be used as scaffold. Then cells, osteoblast, fibroblast, all are needed. Also the temporal relation is also important. For particular one signaling molecule may be important, other time, after some time, another signaling molecule may be important for wound healing. So temporal correct relationship undangle matram, finally we will get periodontal regeneration. Early clinical examples of tissue injury involve use of bone allograft and autologous platelet-rich plasma (PRP). PRP, platelet-rich plasma, is obtained from the patient's blood only. So patient's blood is taken and it is centrifuged. Centrifuge chamber, different layers. You can get the different layers. So one of the layer is the platelet-rich layer. It is known as platelet-rich plasma. So that platelet-rich plasma has been used along with the bone allograft, which is an example of tissue engineering. Now these tissue engineering products are also clinically available. Two commercially available tissue engineering products are involve the use of enamel matrix derivative and platelet derived growth factor BB and use of beta tricalcium phosphate. Now another therapy which is gaining, in which the research is going on, is stem cell therapy. What are the stem cells? Stem cells are also known as
Pluripotent
stromal cells or pluripotent cells. Okay. So they have the potential to improve bone regeneration. So these cells can differentiate into different types of cells. They are also involved in cell recruitment, can be target cells for growth factor delivery, and also can promote early extracellular matrix formation. Now the stem cells, one commercially available product is Osteocell Plus. Now factors that influence therapeutic success. So first factor which is very important is case selection. Selection of appropriate, selection of appropriate surgical technique, accurate assessment of the periodontal defects, and clinicians' clinical experience. Then another important factor affecting therapeutic success is the importance of the tooth in the overall restorative treatment plan. Third is patient selection of the regenerative options. So many of the regenerative techniques are very expensive. The expense factor under, also the surgical technique, operator skills are important. Also tooth, very important teeth which are important for future restorations. FPD plan chain, if the tooth is very important, canine it is very important for future prosthetic appliance. So then we go for regenerative technique. So important allangi, we may go for extraction implant. So case selection important. Also cost factor are also there. Now, successful regenerative surgery requires delicate and timely tissue management to minimize tissue shrinkage. So tissue management, various flap designs which are minimally invasive are currently used. So this is known as minimally invasive surgery. So minimally invasive surgery, various flap designs are there, like minimally MIS technique or minimally invasive surgical technique, modified minimally invasive surgical technique, or single flap techniques. These are the various flap designs which are nowadays used with periodontal regeneration. Advantage in the flap techniques in there, they are minimally invasive. Minimally invasive, what is the advantage there? Tissue shrinkage healing time, graft coverage. So newer flap techniques are there. But if you are doing regenerative techniques, you can use the newer flap techniques. Now, tooth and defect related considerations. The therapeutic success is influenced by tooth's importance in prosthetic rehabilitation, its endodontic status, and osseous defect characteristics. So deeper defects we have to check for whether the tooth is vital or not. So vitality, deeper defects there is a chance that the tooth has become non-vital. In that case, we have to go for root canal treatment first. Then osseous defects, either defects la null result osseous defects, infrabony defects null result, suprabony defects result intrabony defects null result. Either type intrabony defects null result.
Three-walled.
Okay, best result.
Three-walled.
Best result we get with three-wall defects. Okay. Less result is we get with two-wall defect, and one-wall defect result
Least.
Tooth, bone osseous type of osseous defect is also important. Mobile teeth before going for regenerative technique.
സ്പ്ലിന്റ് കൊണ്ട് സ്റ്റെബിലൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു.
Stabilize, splinting ചെയ്യണം. Only then we can go for regenerative surgical technique. Now patient related considerations are also important. So oral hygiene nalla ആയിരിക്കണം before we go for periodontal regeneration. So phase 1 therapy complete either the patient is maintaining good oral hygiene, then only we go for surgical treatment. In a periodontal pathogens ഒക്കെ controlled ആയിരിക്കണം. Which are the periodontal pathogens?
Aggregate bacteria, Actinomycetum commitans,
Aggregative bacteria.
P. gingivalis.
Yeah, P.
Prevotella intermedia.
So all these bacteria should not be present in the subgingival site before doing regenerative therapy. Okay, so this bacteria is usually associated with bleeding on probing. So clinically namakku ariyan pattum this particular bacteria or active periodontal disease is present or not, we can gauge with bleeding on probing. Okay, bleeding on probing undangi, that means pathogenic bacteria may be present or active periodontal disease is present. So ആദ്യം ഇത് control ചെയ്യണം. Subgingival plaque ഒക്കെ control ചെയ്യണം. Then furcation and root proximity situations. So furcation involvement, root close aanangi periodontal regeneration is more difficult. Smoking all the patients le cheyo surgical regeneration.
ഇല്ല.
Smoking all the case le cheyatte illa. Quit smoking, we don't go for regenerative periodontal therapy. Now uncontrolled diabetes mellitus aanangi also we don't go for surgical therapy or surgical regenerative therapy. So first we have to control the diabetic condition, then only go for regenerative surgical treatment. So patient having osseous defects, if you determine you have to decide which cases we want to go for and what treatment we want to give the patient. There is a flow chart. So ആദ്യം വരുമ്പോൾ എന്തൊക്കെ നോക്കുന്നത്? Assess intrabony periodontal defects, pocket depth, attachment loss, bleeding on probing, mobility, radiographic assessment and clinical assessment of osseous architecture. So need for concurrent endodontic, orthodontic needs and treatment, systemic and behavioral issues, oral hygiene, ഇതൊക്കെ കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യണം. പിന്നെ നോക്കണ്ട intrabony defects depth നോക്കണം, less than or equal to 3 mm, and pocket depth if it is less than or equal to 5 mm, and there is lack of bleeding or probing, we only go for non-surgical management. Okay, so intrabony defects less than or equal to 3 mm and pocket depth less than or equal to 5 mm, we go for non-surgical management. If intrabony defect is less than or equal to 3 mm and pocket depth is greater than 5 mm, we go for periodontal flap with resective osseous surgery. Okay. If pocket intrabony defect is more than 3 mm, അതിൽ എന്തൊക്കെ കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? Number of walls present, 3 wall, 2 wall, 1 wall, narrow or wide. So this consideration has to be done. Then strategic importance of the tooth, All these factors are considered. So 3 wall defects, which is narrow, we definitely go for regeneration. 2 wall or 1 wall defect, which are wide, the tooth is not strategically or prosthetically, it is not very important, then we may go for tooth extraction and implants. So this is the decision tree. So how will you select the patient for periodontal regeneration? അപ്പോൾ എല്ലാ വരുന്ന പേഷ്യൻ്റ് എല്ലാം നമുക്ക് റീജനറേഷൻ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. അതിന് we have to select the case. Also important are cost factor ഒക്കെ important ആണ്. So first we have to decide whether we want to go for regeneration or not. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ കേസ് സെലക്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ട് പിന്നെ type of material, which material used, cost factor ഒക്കെ important ആണ്. Okay. So this was about periodontal regeneration. Clear or no? Clear or no?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. ആരെങ്കിലും റിവൈസ് ചെയ്യാം. ഇന്ന് എന്തൊക്കെ പഠിച്ചു? What are allowed?
Different individual of same species.
So graft is obtained from different individual of the same species. Disadvantages and the allografts in there.
Cross infection.
So one important issue is cross infection. So HIV infection or some other viral infection down. So various procedures are followed to prevent this cross infection. ഏതൊക്കെ type allografts ഉണ്ട്?
Undecalcified freeze-dried.
Undecalcified freeze-dried bone allograft and
Decalcified.
Calcified freeze-dried.
decalcified freeze-dried bone allograft. ഇതിൽ ഏതാ ഓസ്റ്റോ ഇൻഡക്റ്റീവ്?
Freeze-dried.
Decalcified freeze-dried. രണ്ടിലും BMPs ഉണ്ട്. But decalcified freeze-dried bone graft, these BMPs are exposed. Important BMP in bone regeneration is BMP3, also known as osteogenic. Okay.
Osteogenic.
Pinna xenograft previously used calf bone, keel bone, pinna anorganic bone. Now commercially available, commonly used is
Bios.
bios. Pinna alloplast or synthetic material or non-graft material. Adile edakya? Previous sclera cartilage,
Plastic materials.
plastic material or STR polymers. Commercially available calcium phosphate biomaterials under. Commercially available products are Perigraph and calcitite. Then bioactive glasses. And then bioactive glasses na parayana pair parayana.
Surface
Surface tissue fluids ഉണ്ട്.
So surface layer reacts with the tissue fluid.
contact.
Hydroxycarbonate apatite is formed on the surface, which incorporates organic ground proteins and attracts osteoblasts. Commercially available products:
Perioglass. Biogram.
Under particle size le vyathyasam undu. Perioglass 90-170 micrometer particle size and Biogran is
300 to 355.
355 micrometer. പിന്നെ coral derived materials, biological mediators, associated new attachment procedures, Rundle type, polypeptide growth factors and enamel matrix derivatives. Polypeptide growth factors ഏതൊക്കെയുണ്ട്?
Human platelet derived
Plate,
Platelet derived growth factors പിന്നെ
recombinant
fibroblast growth factor,
fibroblast growth factor പിന്നെ
BMP.
insulin mediated growth factor,
insulin like growth factors പിന്നെ
TGF alpha and beta.
transforming growth factor alpha and beta. In a BMP is a type of TGF. Okay, it is type of transforming growth factor.
TGF beta.
TGF beta is a type of TGF beta superfamily. So these are the growth factors which are used for periodontal regeneration. Enamel matrix derivative commercially available ഏത് product ഉണ്ട്?
Endogain.
Endogain.
Okay. Tissue engineering, 3 key components ഏതൊക്കെയാ? Tissue engineering.
Signaling molecules, scaffold and cells.
Scaffold.
Signaling molecules, scaffold and cells.
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 Those 3 components ഉണ്ട്. Then stem cell therapy. Either commercially available or product ഏതുണ്ട്?
Osteocell plus,
Cell plus.
Osteocell plus. Okay. So clear ആണല്ലോ?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The assessment ഉണ്ട്. Next Friday ആവുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് submit ചെയ്യണം.
Okay, sir.
okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.